Hello, everybody. Welcome. How are you? so, welcome. My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Lucky Clover bundle. So we're going to be working more specifically with the stamp set for St. Patrick's Day. And it's just going to be a really simple card tonight. We're not going to go too crazy, but let me show it to you. So here is the card that we're going to be making. Now, I did not get a chance to, I usually send out an email with a preview of what's going to be on my Facebook Live, but I was running very late on the other side of things here. Thursdays are actually pretty crazy, and it goes right until up to my live. So anyway, we're gonna be working on this little just this simple St. Patrick's Day card tonight. I am going to be making more than this, but this is where we're starting. This is what we're going to make tonight. We're just going to make the one card. Let me go ahead and switch over really quickly. So as you guys are coming on live, be sure to say hi, and whether you're watching in the replay as well, let me know what you're up to, where are you watching from. I'm in Pennsylvania and we had spectacular weather today. Hi Kathy, how are you? It was so good. The weather was fabulous today. So Patrick and Connor are driving around even though it's dark out. They just went for a little bit of a drive. It's one of Connor's favorite things to do. So they can actually have the window down. He was able to put the window down today. So he was really super happy about that. There are a few things that I want to point out to you before we get started with our simple card this evening. And then I, of course, will send out all of the information about the replay tomorrow. I'm probably going to add a couple of cards to it because I just didn't get a chance to get them all designed tonight. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Margaret. Hello from Oklahoma, North Carolina. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. So here are just a few reminders, and then I'll switch my camera, and then we'll make this card together, and we're going to cut the pieces together and everything. So let me oh my goodness, before I switch over, Kathy is saying we got 8 inches of snow in Wisconsin. Oh my gosh. Hi Marty, how are you? She's watching from Canada. Awesome. Wow. Are you guys okay? Kathy, do you like snow? I mean, I love snow. I really do. But 8 inches, that's a lot. So just take care, be careful. Hopefully everything is good. Okay. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pop up a few reminders and then we'll get started with the card. So I'm doing this 2-camera setup now and it's all clicky and different. So just bear with me. Okay, so the first thing is that tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is February 10th, and the 10th of the month is always the last day to subscribe to that month's paper pumpkin kit. So that means the February paper pumpkin kit, which is called Sunshine and Smiles, is going to end. Like the subscription period will end. So if you wanted to subscribe to get this month's kit, you need to do it by tomorrow. So I wouldn't wait. If this is a kit that you want and it is adorable, we're going to make the best alternates with this kit. I haven't even seen it yet and I can't wait because it's going to coordinate with the Rain or Shine suite from our mini catalog. So just wanted to mention that. Now, here's the other thing. Sale-a-Bration is still going on. Okay, so I really wanted to stress that. I'm going to grab my Sale-a-Bration pamphlet. So this is the Sale-a-Bration brochure. I know that I have new people kind of popping in and watching all the time. And so I do want to just remind you about these things. So during Sale-a-Bration, if you are a paper pumpkin person, you can actually earn Sale-a-Bration rewards if you purchase a prepaid code that is for 3, 6, or 12 months. And then you can earn free Sale-a-Bration rewards. And in the month of February, Stampin' Up! Added to what you could choose as your Sale-a-Bration item. So there's even more to choose from, for your rewards. But here's the thing. If you purchase a prepaid code and get your Sale-a-Bration rewards and you want the February kit, make sure you plug in and activate your prepaid code by tomorrow. So I just wanted to shout that out and say that because so many of you who are here with me love Paper Pumpkin just like I do. So I do like to just kind of shout out those reminders. Okay. And then we can take this one down. And then the other thing that I wanted to say, so there are really incredible savings with the starter kit during Sale-a-Bration. And I'm not going to go too much into it right now, but what I will say is that you can get up to $109 in product savings depending on the option that you choose to join this month. And that savings will end on February 28th, 2023. So if you have a wish list for this catalog or even for the annual catalog, there are some things that you've been wanting, or maybe you've been on the fence about it. I would just encourage you, it's in the Sale-a-Bration brochure. I have a whole video about it if you're interested in learning more about the options to join. I will just briefly put this up on the screen here. So they have 3 options, but 1 and 2 are essentially the same. You're just choosing the color of your mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is this little machine right here. Okay, you can choose it in boho blue or white, and then you customize the rest of your kit. So you get to choose $175 worth of product, but you're only paying $129 if you choose the machine option, and you're only paying $99 if you go without the machine. But you're still choosing $175 in product either way. It's just the difference of paying $99 or $129, and you get free shipping on the starter kit. The other thing is there are many perks and benefits to being a demonstrator. And if you love Paper Pumpkin, one of those perks is we get a little teeny sneak peek of what's going to be in the next Paper Pumpkin kit before it releases to customers. So I got a little sneak peek of what that looks like today, and I love it. So Paper Pumpkin is going to be celebrating 10 years this year. The March kit is Paper Pumpkin's birthday month. So the March kit always has like a little extra goodie in there to celebrate their birthday. So stay tuned. If you're not on my email list, get signed up for my email list because it's the first place that I always announce. They always give us the, all of the materials so that we can show the sneak peek to you on February 11th. So you need to subscribe to February's kit by the 10th, and then I can show you what the March kit looks like on the 11th. So I'm really excited about that. But if you join, you can actually check out the sneak peek on the Demonstrator Paper Pumpkin Facebook group today. So if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's go ahead and make a card with Lucky Clover. So I'm just going to switch my camera, and let me go back to comments too, so I'm not missing anything. Kathy is saying, I'm okay, but her husband had to go to work, and he has to go in a couple of hours. Oh, they cleared your driveway? That's a wonderful neighbor. You got to give them a good card. Oh, Kathy saw the sneak peek. So Kathy is a demonstrator, and she got to see the Paper Pumpkin sneak peek too. We love getting the sneak peeks, and I have to say, in 2023, they have been good. So yes, it's exciting. It's really cool when, you on the demonstrator side of things, it's so much fun when we get those sneak peeks. And then they have something they're doing that's new called online exclusives. I haven't talked too much about it yet. I will be talking more about it, but it's in pre-order right now. So if you were to join, you can actually put online exclusives, brand new products in your starter kit that aren't even available or advertised yet. So lots of good things, when you join. So if you have any questions, let me know. But let's go ahead and we'll go down to the table now. Okay. And I'm sorry for my mess. I have to have my phone and my computer on headphones so that we don't get like this really crazy feedback when I'm doing this 2-camera setup. but here is the card. Okay, so just in case you guys haven't seen it, this is a really simple card, and then I'll walk you through the different products that we're going to use. I did get to use some new products with this, which is good. So the first product that I will talk about is the Lucky Clover stamp set. You can get this in our mini catalog. It is still available. Now, some of you may or may not have heard that this punch sold out. And it's really bothering me that it sold out so quickly, because I want to be able to make, St. Patrick's Day cards. I'm sure you do too. Now, of course, you can fussy cut this, right? Like if you would want to. But here's what I'm going to do. If you place a $25 order or more with me, and I haven't advertised this anywhere yet, but if you place any order with me in February that is $25 or more, I will send you a pack of 10 of these. I will punch them out for you and I will send them to you. So if you've already placed an order, I will put an envelope in the mail with some clovers, unless you don't want them, or shamrocks or whatever. I always get confused about which one is which. But that's going to be my solution. So I'll punch out and send you 10. And then if you have any questions, just let me know. So I'll get a post up about that, so you guys will know the details. But a $25 order with me this month, and I will send you a pack of 10 of these. If you spend 50 or more, you'll actually get my host code. So the host code gift, you would get both. So it's up to you. But I just want to make sure that anybody who missed out on this punch gets to have some of the punch cutouts if you want them, because you know what I mean? It's just, hi, Marion, how are you? I feel bad that this sold out so quickly. And I personally wanted to do a whole class with this. So I wasn't sure what to do about it, but I think that's going to be my solution. And then we'll just do some fun card ideas together. I think that's what we're going to do. So this is still available. You can shop the stamp set in the catalog, in the online store. And then, of course, I'll have all of the information up on my blog tomorrow. And from the Sale-a-Bration brochure, that is where this designer series paper comes from. So I'll just take you to the page real quick. On page 14 of the Sale-a-Bration brochure, they have something called Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. It's a 48 sheet pack of designer series paper, 12 by 12, tons of color options, tons of pattern options with this. It is free if you spend $100 during the month of February. So if you place a $100 order before tax, you could choose this as your Sale-a-Bration item if you want to. Or if you have designer series paper at home that has a green pattern on it that you like, or if you want to create your own patterns, which you guys know I love doing backgrounds. This stamp set is perfect for creating your own backgrounds, but I just wanted you to know where my designer series paper came from, because I love Dandy Designs. I just think it's so cute. So we're just going to cut these up and just do something really simple. So this die, by the way, before I forget, it's sitting here on the table. Something Fancy, that's what it's called. The Something Fancy dies. And I just used one of them, but this is a nesting die, so you could have a second die with this if you would want to. This is what it looks like. I love these. This would be perfect for a tag. But I thought that this little fancy design up at the top here, which I know my hand is probably not the best way to show you this, was perfect for our little 3-leaf clover. So let's go ahead and make this card. We're going to get Granny Apple Green designer series paper. We're going to make a card base, and then we're going to cut up our pieces here. So I'm going to get one of those. Granny Apple Green is one of the coordinating colors of that designer series paper, by the way. And then let me grab the pattern. Here are the two patterns that I was absolutely loving for St. Patrick's Day cards. I mean, come on now, I didn't get to use this one yet, but I am going to make more, so don't you guys worry. And I'll be sure to send out an email about it when I do. But these are the patterns. So this is the pattern that we're going to use now. So let me just get my paper trimmer here real quick. Here it is. Okay. So your husband has to go to work. Is it still snowing now, Kathy? You'll have to let me know if it's still coming down or if it stopped at 8 inches. That is a lot. That is a lot of snow. Okay. So here we go. I was watching a live, somebody who was in Colorado. They said they got 2 inches today. So I'm just going to go to the 4 1/4 inch mark here, and I'm going to score the entire sheet. That's because I'm going to make multiple card bases here. I'm going to get 2 card bases out of one piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, but you don't have to cut it that way unless you want to. Then I'm going to go to 5.5 inches, and I'm going to cut. So this is sort of that standard card size that I'm always working with. And then we'll set the other one aside. And then I'm going to get my designer series paper. We're just going to cut a strip, a 1-inch strip. And I'm not sure how many I need because I had some scrap paper I was cutting before, but let's just take a look and see. We might have to cut more than one. We're going to do 3 of these. You could do whatever pattern you want, however, many strips or stripes that you want. So we're just going to do 1 by 5.5, and we're going to do 3 of those. And there's 2. And then we'll cut one more strip so that we'll have 3. All right, that's looking good. I've been working on organizing things behind the scenes, trying to figure out some solutions here. I think we always are as crafters, right? But if you haven't seen or if you haven't heard, when I dug out my January 2022 paper pumpkin kit, the one from last year that's on sale, I ended up pulling out all of my old paper pumpkin kits, and there are a lot of them. We're also going to take some basic white cardstock, and we're going to trim that down. Let's see if I have a piece here. I meant to grab my whole pack, but I did not do that. So we're going to go to 1 1/8 of an inch for this. And we're going to cut 3 of these at 1 1/8 by 5.5. So basically the length of the whole card front. And that should be 5.5, that strip there. So that makes that easy. I just need 1 more strip. I might have to grab more paper. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to grab a sheet. Okay, hang on just 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. And my Aunt Melinda is here. That's who I was named after. I think I tell you that every single time she pops on one of my lives. She loves the shamrocks. My Aunt Melinda and I were both really big holiday people. We love to celebrate all the holidays. And she decorates her house up so fabulous for every single one. She's decorated up for Valentine's Day right now. I am behind. I did not decorate for Valentine's Day, but I bet you I will make it for St. Patrick's Day. I hope so. Okay. And we'll cut this to 5.5. And then we're going to die cut our one piece here. And I'm just going to use my little mini for this one. Should be fine. All right. We're just going to use a piece of scrap paper for that one. Trying to move things out of the way as I'm done using them because this table is so small. Okay, so hopefully you guys can still see what I'm doing here. And yep, okay, I'm all caught up on comments. And let's go ahead and cut this piece. All right. I apologize if I'm shaking. I'll try to go real slow. It's easier with the mini than it is with the big guy, with the shaking. Okay. All right, so now we have all of our pieces. The only thing I didn't cut was the insert for the inside of the card, but I always just shout that out. And I would cut that at 4 by 5 1/4 inch. That's like my standard size for the inserts on cards if I'm using colored cardstock. Okay. We'll put that away. And now we can make a card. So I'm just going to get my bone folder. I might have pressed that a little too hard. That's okay. All right. And then let's do our assembly. And then we just have very, very light stamping tonight. I think I've been doing that a lot lately. I'm going to have to do, you know, a project where we're doing lots of stamping because I think I've been keeping it pretty simple with stamping lately. And maybe we just need to step it up a little and make some fancy backgrounds. Okay. So what I was trying to do, now it's harder for me when I'm sitting down, but I'm going to try to center this. And you know what? I hope I cut those at 1 1/8. For some reason, they look small. Okay. When I'm sitting down, I swear I cannot get it straight. It is so funny to me. I'm used to standing when I am doing my lives with you, but ever since I did this 2-camera setup, I try to do this at my desk, and I just cannot get used to it. All right, and I'm just using my multi-purpose glue to put these down. If for some reason I cut these at the wrong size, which I hope I didn't, but if I did, what we'll do is just trim down the DSP, but I think it's all right. I always question myself on sizing. Okay. I love St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I actually love collecting Irish sweaters. I have 3 Irish sweaters and they are just my favorite. I actually, most of the time, like unless it's crazy cold, I wear my Irish sweater as my winter coat, honestly. Now that said, I don't spend hours and hours outside. You know, usually I'm just going from my house to the car to another location in the winter, but they're warm, they're nice. I have 2 in green. I have like basically like a granny apple green one, and then I have a dark green, and then I also have gray. And I would really like to add to that collection and get something. They're all cut differently. They all have a different style to them, and I love every single one of them. I always get compliments when I wear them too, which is about the only time. It's when I'm wearing my Irish sweaters, and I just love them. And it just kind of pops. Oh, see, I did cut this one. Look at that. I thought I cut that wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. So this is supposed to be 1 1/8 in the center here, but I cut it short. Okay, well, we'll have a slightly varied card, but let me check this one before I put it down. Yeah, bummer. So now my card pattern looks different. Why did I do that? Hang on. Is this the bigger piece? I think this is the bigger piece. If it is, we're just going to glue it right on top. Let's see. Yeah, this is the bigger piece. I don't know if it's because I'm talking or what, but I don't want to peel that off. Now, I have seen people like heat up the glue and like peel it off. So you could do that like with your heat tool, but that intimidates me. I haven't tried that yet. So we're just gonna do an extra layer. Do an extra layer and hope for the best, because at least this way we have the pattern of the 2 on the outside, and then we just have this more narrow one here. But I'm sorry about that. I thought it looked thin. All right. And I'll make sure I'm very clear about cutting that at 1 1/8 in my blog post. Okay. All right, so there's that part of it. And then before we put this on, we're just gonna stamp this. And the 2 ink colors that I am using are Granny Apple Green and Garden Green. And then there are 3 individual clovers, or 3 shamrock clovers, whatever you want to call them. Kathy loves St. Patrick's Day too. I really do. I love making cards for St. Patrick's Day. It's like one of my favorite holidays to make cards for. I think that they're so cheerful. And they're fun, and they're, you know, maybe not the biggest holiday, but it's very unique. And then of course, Patrick lives in this house with me. And I love having stamps that say Patrick because I can customize his cards. So we have three. We have this large, we have a medium, and we have this little small guy here, okay, in terms of the individual ones. And then we also have this one, which is going to be so much fun for borders and frames and backgrounds, just depending on what you're making. But I'm going to use the middle size, and we're going to use Granny Apple Green with it. And then I just kind of turned my clover like slightly at an angle before I stamp it down. And then we have a few different sentiment options. We have Sending Luck and Love, which is the one that I used. We have Good Luck. We have a Happy St. Patrick's Day floating around here. We have Happy St. Patrick's Day. I would put that on the inside of this card. And then we have this one, which this is a great inside for a card too. A good friend is like a 4-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. Oh gosh, is the 3-leaf one the shamrock? Why do I do this to myself? I'm Irish. I should know better. Okay, garden green. And then we're going to do Sending Luck and Love. This, I need to re-ink this guy right here. Hopefully that's enough. I'm going to put a little bit of space in between. And that's because I'm going to run just a little bit of twine. Now this twine comes from a 3-pack. So it's called the 3 twine combo pack. And you would get Coastal Cabana, Garden Green, and Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going to use the Garden Green. And basically, now I don't have my Seal Plus over here, so I'm just going to use my, what are they called? Glue dots. I'm going to use my glue dots. I'm just going to pop one on each side here. At least I think it's the side-ish. Side-ish. Okay, oops, 3. Well, that's okay. So I'm just going to take my twine. I'm going to tuck it on the back here. Just need something to hold it down. And then I'm going to crisscross it. So just kind of pop this one up. Maybe I need to do it this way. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Okay, so I just want to crisscross this. And let's see if I can stick that on the glue dot, just so it has a place to be secure. Okay, so just simple. And then we're going to put just a little sequin, and you could use whatever embellishment you want with these sequins, especially if you want to do shaker cards for St. Patrick's Day. How fabulous are these? Let me see if I can put those in my hand. I mean, absolutely fabulous combination of like the sparkly white, the gold, the greens. I mean, so perfect. So let me see if I can put those back. They're probably going to stick to my hand now. Hang on. Okay, that's okay. I'll just be sparkly. We're going to need one of those in just a minute, but I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. And you know what? The day, oh, Shamrock is 3 leaves. She just looked it up. Kathy, you're the best. Shamrock is 3 leaves. 4-leaf clover is 4 leaves. Thank you so much, Kathy. I really appreciate that because I would have been guessing the whole time. Next time I'll have to do that before I'm live, but I'll mention that in the blog tomorrow. Thank you so much. So I think the day has come, honestly, that I'm out of dimensionals, like the regular size dimensionals. You know how I told you guys I was sure I had some? I have looked everywhere, and I'm like, is it possible that I actually used up all of my packs? So I will, of course, order more, but in the meantime, I guarantee you I have some left over in my old paper pumpkin kits. So we're gonna do some organizing of the paper pumpkin kits, the old ones, and I'm gonna see if I can find some because I just cannot believe that I let myself run out of dimensionals. Okay, so I'm gonna just place this right along the center strip here. And then we're just gonna add one more glue dot to the center of our shamrock. Okay, so let me grab a glue dot here. And I think honestly, I was using, I always have the adhesive dots from the paper pumpkin kits nearby. And I think that's what I used on my original card, but this is fine too. So let's just pop that on. I'm never elegant when it comes to the glue dot. And then let's grab one of our green sequins. The little pentagon would be fun to use too, actually. But let's just stick with the sequin since that's what I used on the first card. I'm going to go for the green one. I'm just going to pop it right in the center. And that just gives it a very subtle sparkle, but you could put them all over if that's what you would like to do. So here is our card for tonight. And then on the inside, if I was doing my insert, which maybe we should do that together. Why don't we do that? Because why wouldn't I? And then we can play around with this little border stamp. I would love to stamp these little ones and see what they look like. So let's just go ahead and cut a piece and we'll do this. So let me just move this to the side. Every time I go to end a live, I always end up talking more. So we're going to go to 4 inches. Cut. My friend Roberta, she was on my live the other night, and she said she buys multiple packs of basic white at a time, and she pre-cuts an entire pack of cardstock to her cardstock size, to like her card size. Isn't that just so smart? Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do that. I really am going to have to take her up on that. And then I also need to cut a bunch of the inserts. That would just make life so much easier. Okay, so we'll put this off to the side. And I'm going to get my little St. Patrick's Day stamp out. Let's do that one first. And then let's get our little zigzag. These are the clover. Well, it looks like it's a combination of clovers and shamrocks. Okay, so for the center, let's stamp with Granny Apple Green. Now, this is the first time I'm stamping this, so I'm just going to make sure that I ink this up well. Never hurts to do a test stamp. All right, so we have our Happy St. Patrick's Day. And then, you know what, I'll just keep doing, we'll just do all one color here. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm looking around to see if I have my scrap paper here, and I don't. So I could always wipe this down later. I kind of want to go in the corners with this. And let's just see how that looks. That's a cute stamp. I just want to get a couple more. Okay, and so there is our little insert. Hi, Joan, how are you? Okay, so we'll glue this in and then we'll be done with this one. We'll be done with this card. I will have more St. Patrick's Day ideas coming, I promise. And I will get a post up about sending out some punched, how many leaves is this? 4. Our punched clover, our punched 4-leaf clover, because I am just so sad. I'm so sad about that punch selling out. Ugh. A lot of our stuff is going quickly, like is going on to back order from that. I know this has been an incredibly popular mini catalog. I mean, we have all been absolutely loving it. And I know that I always say that, but honestly, this catalog is like, oh, wow, you know. And then in addition to that, you know, I have never seen them do a joint offer like this before, where you just get so much value from it. And I think a lot of people are taking advantage of that. And I think that a lot of products are going that way too. So I am glad that we're going to be doing the online exclusives, because I really think that that will help us, you know, with this Clover Punch, the Lucky Clover, being out. But like I said, if people place a $25 order or more, I will send you a pack of 10 of the shamrocks, or of the clovers. So, okay, we're all done. Here we go. All right. And then, like I said, I will get the replay posted tomorrow. Let me go ahead and switch my camera back. I'm still not used to my new setup here, but let me see if I can switch it back. Okay. So, yes, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate you all spending time here. If you just popped on here towards the end of the live, I just want to remind you tomorrow is the last day to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. I'm always shouting that out. I also completely forgot to mention my class. I have a fancy Flora bookbinding fun fold card class, and I know that that is a mouthful. But the deadline to sign up for my card class is February 11th, and I'll send a reminder out about that on the 11th to everybody. So if you do want to get signed up for that class, it is 6 cards using the Fancy Flora suite, and then there will also be some product included as part of that card class. And I pre-cut the kits. I do a video and a PDF tutorial. It will ship, closer to the end of the month. Once I close registration, that's when I order the product. And then when it arrives, that's when I cut it all and then ship it out. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. If you need the link, I'd be happy to send it to you. Just give me a shout out. And like I said, I will put a reminder up about that soon, but I don't know. I just didn't do enough reminders about my class this month, but I will get better. Next month, we'll do better. So, all right. Thanks so much, Joan. She says, I now love that paper and color. I know, it's so cool. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you all being here with me. All right. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.